You are welcome to the Messiah Revelation Ministry. This is part 2 of a series we are doing on end time visions that are received on July the 9th, the 10th, and 11th of 2025. In part 1, we focus on the vision on rapture on July the 9th. In this video, we are discussing 3 visions that are received on July the 10th, 2025, and these visions are related to the vision of rapture that I saw a day before on July the 9th, 2025. On July the 10th, 2025, I had 3 visions. And the first one is a vision about a ladder. In this vision, I was rented an apartment, and the apartment had an elevator. The elevator was in the hall of the apartment that I rented. And in the vision, I didn't like the apartment, particularly the fact that the elevator was in the hall of the apartment that was rented to me, because many people had to come to that place to take the elevator. It was only one elevator that was in the whole apartment. Everybody had to come and wait for the elevator inside the hall of the apartment that was rented to me. And I saw many people coming to take the elevator. Then I woke up from the vision. So I will call it the vision of the elevator. And I want to decode the meaning of the vision of the elevator in an apartment complex that was rented to me. I relate this vision to the previous vision, the vision about the rapture, because in the vision of the rapture that I had on July the 9th, the young man who appeared in the vision, his name is PK. On the vision of July the 10th, 2025, the man who rented the apartment to me is the father of PK. And I know PK is his nickname. And I know him and I know the father very well. And as I had the first vision of the rapture on July the 9th, the next day, I had the vision about the elevator. Elevator is a means of transportation in the same way that a ladder is a means of transportation. Jacob saw the ladder extending from the earth to heavens, and the rapture will be activated by a mode of transportation. The Lord ascended into heaven with the clouds of heaven, and when the rapture comes, believers will be lifted up. They will be lifted up on the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And so the vision that I saw on July the 10th, 2025, is a vision that the Lord was using an elevator as a symbol of divine transportation for those who are believers, those who will be translated. Elevator is a symbol of transportation in the same way that clouds are a symbol of transportation. The Lord uses clouds as a means of transportation, and here the Lord was using an elevator that lifts people up and down on earth, up to the top of the floor. The Lord was using that as a symbol of transportation, and so that is the meaning of the elevator that was shown to me in the vision. And I connect it to the rapture as I said, because elevator is a symbol of elevation. It's a symbol of upliftment, and it will activate the rapture of the believers. On the same day, July the 10th, 2025, I also had a vision, and I'll call it the vision of the Library of Nations. In this vision, I saw a library, and I wanted to go into the library, and I went there, and the library was divided into sections. As you go to ordinary library, you have a section dealing with history, other section dealing with um, anthropology, and any other different subject. In this library, I didn't see books, but there were nations, and I saw positions of nations in the library. And I remember seeing the position or the department for Russia, and I saw the department of France. And as I proceeded to go to the department dealing with Russia in the library, I met a man who was the director of the library. He was an attendant. And he asked me what I wanted to do. I told him I wanted to see the Department of Russia. And he directed me to the Department of Russia. And I saw that the library was messy. And the whole library was messy. I don't remember if I actually saw the Department of Russia. All I saw was that the library had been rearranged. It appeared that I was familiar with the library. And so in this vision, I saw the library had been rearranged, and some parts were nice, and other parts were messy with debris on the floor. Normally, you wouldn't see debris on the floor of a library, but I saw debris on the floor of this library, a library of nations. And when I woke up from the vision, so I tried to analyze the implications of the vision, a vision where you see nations in a library, which is contrary to the notion of library that we have in the world, where you see library divided into sections relating to subjects. So that library, the Library of Nations, is referring to the world as we see it, because the world is divided into nations. It's significant that I saw Russia, I saw France. These are Gentile nations. They are end time nations, and those nations are very prophetic. Russia, an end time nation, has nuclear weapon, and one of the nations capable of causing the war of apocalypse. And France, of course, is a superpower and a colonial power, and I'll describe France as an Euro-Gentile power that participated in the scattering of the children of Judah and Jerusalem. And of course, in the end of days, the Lord will assemble the nations for judgment, and that is stated in the books. In Matthew chapter 25, verse 32, the Lord will assemble the nations for judgment, and the Gentile nations will be judged by the Lord, as stated in Matthew chapter 25, verse 32. And I saw the library was rearranged. It is a symbol of the coming rearrangement of nations. If there's a world war, third world war, it will result in the rearrangement of the nations of the world. And of course, the new world order is planned towards the rearrangement of world order, rearrangement of the nations that control the world. Some will move up, some will move down the stairs, and the world is going to be messy. It's prophetic that the world is going to be messy, and the prophecy relates to the end times, the signs of the world. Nations will rise against nations, and kingdom will rise against kingdom, and there will be tribulation, and there will be wars and rumors of wars, and all these events will make the world messy. And this is what I saw, the mess that I saw in the library of nations. We have to understand that the rapture is a form of separation, divine separation of the righteous from the wicked. And of course, after that, judgment will come. And so here the Lord is telling me the judgment of nations, how the Lord assembles nations before him in Matthew 25, verse 32. Here I saw nations assembled in a library that I saw. As I said, I saw Russia, I saw France, and there were other nations that I don't recall. But the prophecy is clear that there will be judgment on sheep nations and goat nations, the righteous nations and the wicked nations, in the same way that judgment will involve individual human beings, descendants of Adam. There will also be judgment upon nations. And if you look at Ezekiel, the Ezekiel powers will be judged. These are the nations that will attempt to invade Israel, the chosen of God in the last days, and they will persecute the children of God, and the Lord will deal with them. Of course, the prophets Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Obadiah, all of them have prophesied about nations that will be judged. Edom will be judged, Damascus will be judged, Babylon will be judged. These are all part of prophecy, and the Lord will gather the nations for judgment. If you read the book of Joel, there's a prophecy where the Lord will gather the nations to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and that is a metaphor of judgment, and the nations will be judged in the valley of Jehoshaphat as prophesied in the book of Joel. And in the last days, the Messiah, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the commander of the hosts of heaven, he will lead a contingent of the hosts of heaven in doing battle on the day of the Almighty. And that battle will be the battle of Armageddon. And the scriptures are clear in the book of Revelation that Lucifer will rule the kings of the earth, and he will gather the armies of the kings of the earth to do battle with the Messiah. But the Messiah will triumph over them. Fire will come from heaven to destroy the armies of Lucifer in the last days in the battle of Armageddon, and the nations of the world will be judged, and the nations will be assembled before the Almighty Lord, the Lamb of God, and the Lion of the tribe of Judah. The nations will be assembled, and the nations will be judged. They will be separated from the world, and these nations that will be judged, some of them will not enter the millennial kingdom that is coming. The 1,000-year reign of the Messiah will happen, but before it does happen, some nations will be judged and they will be destroyed. And there's a nation that will be specially destroyed. That nation is Babylon. It will be destroyed with brimstone and fire. No nation will be able to escape judgment. The Lord will assemble the nations before them, Matthew 25:32, and the Lord will judge the nations. And the third vision that I saw on July the 10th, 2025, I'll call it the vision of the birth pangs. The Messiah prophesied that there will be events in the world that will signal the pestilence and the earthquakes and the turmoil, the calamities that will foreshadow the coming of the Lord, that will precede the coming of the Lord. These are the signs of the end of the age. The Lord refers to them as the beginning of birth pangs. So on July the 10th, 2025, I saw a vision. In that vision, I saw a man that I know. The man is a lecturer. He's an African. And I saw him, and he had three kids. One of the kids was sleeping on his shoulder. The other one was walking on the floor. And the other one, the third one, was sleeping. I visited their home in the vision. I didn't see the mother of the kids. I assume probably the mother was working somewhere, and it was the man taking care of the three kids. The house was messy, and they didn't have food to eat. Food was very scarce. And I remember the man offered me food. He gave me two slices of yam, and there were no stew and there was no soup. It was only two slices of yam. He gave the yam to me. He had nothing to offer me, not even water, not even a drink. And so I could deduce from the vision, the impression that the family was going through economic crisis. They didn't have food, but they were nice enough to offer me the only food that they have, two slices of yam. And the whole place was messy, and the man was the one taking care of the young kids, and the mother was not around. And so I woke up from the vision. My interpretation of the vision is that perilous times will come, as written in the book of Timothy, that in the end of this, there will be perilous times, and there will be pestilence, and there will be hardship, economic hardships, particularly. There will be scarcity of food. And this was shown in the vision where the family of the man I saw, his name is Mr. Awesome. He didn't have any food except two slices of yam, which he gave to me. So it is a foreshadow of the perilous times that are coming, the pestilence that are coming, and the birth pangs that are coming, as symbolized in the man taking care of young children. And he was alone taking care of the children, and the mother of the children was not around, and the whole house was messy. Of course, it is an indication of the mess that is coming to the world. And Luke 21:28 has a story of encouragement for us as we read Luke 21:28 for the record. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. When you see all those things coming, you lift up your eyes, because your redemption is coming. And so I could deduce from the visions on July the 10th that the Lord is showing me events that will be taking place in the end of days. One, the vision of the ladder. Of course, the ladder is a mode of transportation, and it is very significant as we read the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 10. The book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 10. That is the encouragement was given to the church of Philadelphia. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. It's a word of encouragement to a righteous church, a believing church, a holy church, the Church of Philadelphia. And because the congregation kept the patience, the Lord said he will keep them out of temptation. And that is symbolized in the vision of the ladder that I saw in the vision, the ladder that I saw in my apartment that was used by many people to climb to the top of the building. And of course, as I said, there will be judgment of nations. And the Lord used the vision of the library of nations to show me the judgment. It's significant. I saw Russia and also I saw France. And the mess that I saw in the library, as I said, is the mess that is coming into the world. The world is going to be messy. There will be pestilence. There will be tribulation. And these are all part of the end time prophecies, signifying the birth pangs that will come, as was shown to me in the vision, with a man carrying a child on his shoulder, one of them walking on the floor, the other child sleeping on the floor, the room very messy, and they didn't have enough food to eat except 2 slices of yam that was given to me to eat. So this is serious visions, and the fact that the 3 visions came the same day, the same night, is significant, and it is based upon the scripture, because in a series of visions, the Lord showed the events coming to the world to Apostle John on the island of Patmos. So many visions were shown to Apostle John in a very short time, and he was asked to record the visions. So I recorded my vision, and so this will be part 2 of the series of vision that I saw relating to the end of days. And on July the 11th, I saw another vision, and I will reserve that to part 3 of the series that I'm doing. So I will upload the third part of this series, part 3. This is part 2, and I encourage you to watch the video. The most important thing is that you need to repent. The Lord reveals his secrets to his servants, the prophets. And here we are talking about the secrets of the end times. We are talking about judgment that is coming, and it is imminent, and there will be tribulation. And the vision that I saw are confirmation of the prophecies in the Bible, in Matthew chapter 24, in Luke 21, and in the book of Revelation. My email is raptureafrica@yahoo.com. I'm leaving it in the description box. Expect the next series, part 3 of the video, and this is part 2. Enjoy it. Share the video. Thank you very much. My email is raptureafrica@yahoo.com. I'm leaving it in the description box.